يكيخا يخستيني لتكت يوهان يختو يكي هيقتنجي دات وش كنخوتو داتي يأوه أداتي تخوتنجي آيكي دات يخسوي وي أداتكي هستو إي تو التكت تايا هستو إي قختو شتو شنجت قينخ يا يوكوي تليدهين هاتو واسقود بيوسكي أداتكي قش نسكوي هستو كتاغو أدي كيجين Tlingit katangi kuti aya giwutu sa. Adatki dultini yewuti. Aya kautua just tlingit renach aya. Hast du inuch aututla atki. Shukwaya juya tlhach eitas aus ach. Tlhach eitas ewa achi. Wash nask disi chanach. The katayu katangi has aus a ku. Yik echawe. Tlidzi qawe uski has to iu tlitu. Tlaylihin. Tlatu toa ushko. Takladutl. Ye awe. Choach. You do a sock away. Nap time. Tlingit reinach. Tlatu toa ushko. Ta ye qawe tlaycha at katsko. Keu ik. Atli, achtu asaku achtla. Atli. De gaan goed. Let's Qanu. Katlinach qanu. Hu oeqo awqach. Chayu genk wudnik tsu. Achwe we qait awe de slu dachawe wa akawada. Slu aya du yaw yewuti. Teslu a shqait aya du yak yewuti. Achwe slu qoina khwashat. Na. Iyaqalqu. Huqoa. Click. Aqa dullu nach awe qunnach awlla uch. Kat llaqaitli. Aqa du yaqewuti. Kall de genach aya shwudatlaid. Ye awe wan qanins adatu tuxtatan. Tlidzi qa idul tu. Tlidzi aya adatki has to idul tu. Yiguaya khwan. Ye awe just ha idekach yidishi. Kellach tu ashku. Ya llidzi yiji yeuti. Ach tu asku llultzidain aya wujin yuq atulla atki. Elwasa kukwati kha. Ya iti sandeq ak tlelye jigach tu ne. Just gach tu sa. Ye awe qa tlachwasa ach tu yik ye yat achwalqaini. Ya zoom tu. Tlakyigiyewe achit ki inyuch achwatan. Tlingit qinach. Yuhan qa just Yuhan awe chagutian wad aya. Yin aya yuqachtatani qa ach tu yik Khatsu ach yillatu tlingit. Ach iti dishi qa ach tu yik da. Gulchish ach iti sa achi. Wasai tu chkhana. Ya grammar dot ide ka kwallatu shukwa kwalchis wuchin yuq atilla atki. Ichikachtuneka. Okay.
What's to do with Sauk? Snot. Suyanaka.
Shqait.
The gate.
It's if it's runny.
Did it go?
Tluk is the I'll give you a quick recap. So like we built the language nests and you know and a lot of folks in Hawaii and other places like you teach the kids. It's the kids. And yeah, kids are great. Kids are also a lot of work. And so one of our kids didn't want to take a nap and was really crying for her mom, you know. So we felt bad, but I went up and I said, "Yeah, be quiet. You just sit quiet then. Just sit quiet." And she was kind of getting uh, sick, and so because she was a little bit sick and she was crying, she had a lot of snot on her face. So I got a tissue and I said, "Here, just wipe that off." And she said, "No." And then she blew out her nose and more came out. And then she really slowly just licked it off. And that's, so it was like, I don't know,
I'm
man.
not sure I understand.
I bet you don't. It's like, man, the kids they're gonna make it real hard on us. But they actually they do really good. The other thing I said is when we first started, like a lot of those kids couldn't understand us, and I wasn't there at the beginning. There was other teachers, Dashini, Shanbudakot, Getutin, Nyakatat, Kaswoot, and Kuwuch, uh, Anakweish, and Shakao-ish. And so like in oh but yeah, I was there quite a bit too, and just sort of it was amazing. Like three months later, like these kids can understand everything we're saying, and they're conjugating verbs themselves. They're changing the verbs. They're manipulating the language, which is what you want to see. But to do that and to not actually teach them the structure was pretty fun. Okay, so gluk is the hard. That's the hard booger. So and then gluk and qait. So then you just see the sh on there. So if you got things coming out of other things, then you have different types of qait and gluk. So we're gonna try and power through the future, including what happens when we start putting thematic prefixes on here. So to recap, this is showing you. Oh, let me open up the chat so I make sure it's there. Okay. Okay. So if you look here, we're going to learn how to put these prefixes together, and then the stem in the future is totally predictable. You don't even have to worry about conjugation prefix or nothing. All you got to know is the positive is high and long and high, negatives long and low every time, unless it's invariable. Then it's already marked, right? So there's no guesswork here. Only other thing is if there's no low version, then it'll stay high for the negative. But if you look at these, like just look at the verbs. Kakwasatin, kakwasatin. Gachtusatin, gachtusatin. Kakisatin, kakisatin. Gachisatin, gachisatin. Aguchsatin, aguchsatin. Hasaguchsatin, hasaguchsatin. Gachdustin, gachdustin. So it's that klesh that pushes it to go low. Otherwise, it's high. Okay, so that's kind of the first starting point. And we're going to learn how to build all of these. But the future is very predictable. It gets long, but because there's so many things, um, I think it gets pretty easy to sort of to get to understand. So we're going to start off by looking at some, going through every classifier combination. And the classifier, there's a couple things we're going to look for in the classifier. They will always be minus I in the future. Always. So if you see the classifier as 0, that's going to be 0. That'll be 0 right there. And if it's a D plus 0, it's going to be da. Every single time. No guesswork, it's always going to be minus I, right? So in that case, if we look here, the other thing we look for is the conjugation class. Zero and na will have nothing in the preverb. You just go right to the kwa part. But ga will always have k, and ka will always have yay. So you just have to remember to put that in there. But there's no guesswork on whether k should be there or not, unless you just don't know the conjugation class. But once you look up a verb and you see that ga, k, right? And so that's why. And then we look to see if there's an object so that we know what the third person is going to be like. Whole bunch of things in Tlingit, there's an object there, but it's always it, right? Pretty much always it. So just looking at these, so what you're focused on here, I think you really focus your attention on that prefix. So it shows you this ga, ka. That just means those are the three things you need to have in the future. Every future verb will have those three things. It's just sort of like a little combination switch. Ga, ka. Oh, that's future, right? When we had yu, that was perfective. So you just turn this little switch, and that's what it's doing. That conjugation happens in between so it goes object, thematic, conjugation, subject, classifier. So that's always where we're sort of looking at how things go. So going through these, I'll say them, just feel free to repeat. We're just going to go through and say them all. And this one's going to be exactly the same, except for you're going to have da. And I'll tell you something after we go through it about this one. Kekkwat-a. Oops, that stays low, sorry. Kekach-tut-a. Kekrit-a. Kekachit-a. Keakwat-a. Case-akwat-a. Kegachtut-a. Kakwat-a-ka. Gachtut-a-ka. Kakit-a-ka. Gachit-a-ka. Gucht-a-ka. Husgucht-a-ka. Gachtu-ka. So coming back, there's a few variables that we got to keep in mind here. One, we have to ask ourselves, is there a vowel in the classifier? Is there a vowel? If there is a vowel, tu will be t. If there is a vowel, e will be I. So that's for the first person plural, second person singular. So you see over here, they're short because there's a vowel in the classifier. Otherwise, they'll be long. That's one of the variables. The other one, if there's a vowel in the classifier, the third person will be uchta or guchta. So, or guch, guchta, guchsha, guchsha. Okay? And it has, oh, did I miss one? Guchsa, right? It must go guchsa. If there's no vowel in the classifier, it will go kqwa or kqwash, kqwas, kqwash. That's that third person. So second person plural, or sorry, first person plural, second person singular, third person. They're affected by the classifier. Okay?
I'm confused when you say no vowel in the classifier.
Okay. So these are the classifiers. They're the only classifiers you can have in the future. No vowel, 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 no vowel, vowel, no vowel, vowel, no vowel. If there's an A, if the is in there, that's what causes the shape to change for a couple of these things. So we'll see, and we'll see them as we go through. So as we go through, we'll see them. No vowel here. U, I, k, kwa. Vowel here. T, I, guchta.
It always feels so much more advanced in English. This is so hard. For real.
Well, English has a whole, but one of the things is like when you learn a language from birth, which is maybe, I try to do a combination of like looking at this stuff and then just using the language. But I think it'll start to make sense once you start to put them together. Then you'll sort of see it, right? Because it's sort of like explaining a whole bunch of things. It's like you want to drive a car, and I'm like, okay, well, come over here, and I'm going to tell you how the engine works, right? It's sort of like, that's unless you're a mechanic, right? That stuff is kind of chunky. Okay, so let's look at this again. These ones are here for us to examine as examples. Okay.
The thing I'm not getting is, okay, I can see when I'm looking at the theme, there's a classifier. Like in this one for teen, there's a S classifier. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's going to be sa.
Okay, but then you add in the D component and minus I and all this stuff, and it's just sort of
Now
confetti.
Now it's just the letter S, right? So and it's kind of new for us, right? Because we looked at perfectives, right? So perfectives, the I, and the I also, it's just it needs to be there, right? And so we have the si in the ya and so, but now we're gonna have s, like that's the whole classifier. It's s or sh. That's the entire classifier, right? But then what we just focus on now, there's a whole set. Vowels, no vowels. So same thing here. So this one is plus D, this one's not. So we have tusa, isa, and we have guchsa. On this side, we have gachtus, kakis, and kakwas. So you have option A, option B. Option A is no vowel. This one's long, this one's long, this one's kakwas, or kakwa, and then if there's a classifier. If there's a vowel, then you're going to have short, short, and guchsa.
So the ones on the left are the the stem is teen, and that has a S classifier. And do I need to worry about the D part of it?
Only if you're going to see yourself, right? So if I said, I will see myself, I would expect yesh kakastin.
Okay, well, that sounds fairly sophisticated. I'm just trying to get through this. Just a future.
I'll just say them. And so look at this. So this one has an object. So we're getting a. This one doesn't. So we just go straight to the kakwa. Okay? So to see something, right? To see something specific. Ye kakwasatin. Ye gachtusatin. Ye kakisatin. Ye gachyisatin. Ye agursatin. Yes agursatin. Ye gachdustin. So there, the d pushes it plus d. That means there's no vowel there. To break the law, or to do something wrong. Agede kakwaskit. Agede gachtuskit. Agede kakiskit. Agede gachyiskit. Agede kakwaskit. Agedes kakwaskit. Agede gachtuskit. So the patterns, all the roots are long, right? So all of these stems, the stems are long, right? And what we're going to find right? So here's the formula, right? We have kukwa and kukwas, right? Or we have kukwasa. When I change to the L group, it's going to go to kukwasha, gachtusha, kakisha, gachyisha, aguchsha, and gachdush. And this one will be kukwash, gachtush, kakish, gachyish, kukwash, gachdush. So the only thing we're changing once we switch to the next classifier is going to be that consonant from S to L to SH.
We change the classifier, we change the meaning of the verb, right?
Yes, yes. So, and sometimes you're just changing what the verb does, or, the classifier will change to sometimes say, it's not just happening, somebody's making it happen. It's not just it's not just a thing, it's a specific type of thing.
Gonna teach.
Okay.
So I guess I'm going to push this because I've seen these charts a lot and I'm still not getting it. And I don't think I'm the only one. Like for when I think of first person singular, I always think, oh, there should be an X in there somewhere. And then with the, okay, there it is. It's in the pattern. But so kukwa, is the X is hidden in there somewhere? It got transformed to make it sound better.
Well, if you have ga, ka, cha, then it has to contract. And there is a bit of a formula here. Ka plus cha is going to equal ka.
Okay.
So you'll find that in hortatives. You'll see it in hortatives. And so itke kadeshi. Maybe let me help you, right?
Okay. And then with the next one, in the previous example, wasn't it yay? How come there's no yay?
Why is there no yay?
Yeah.
Because these are both na. 0 and na don't have anything before the verb. Ga must have k. Ka must have yay.
Oh gosh.
There's one more thing to keep track of. Here's a couple other things. On a regular basis, a ga will become just a k. That's why you say ituwukatsin. Because if you took the tuwu out of there, so I'm saying be brave. Ituwukatsin with a k. But if I were just to say be strong, I would still say iklatsin. So, but that's ga. That's a ga conjugation on there. The other thing is qa will regularly, so when they contract, what happens? Like when they contract, so when ga contracts, it just turns into the letter K. When qa contracts, it turns into an underlined X. So that's their forms, right? Those two will contract a lot. Those ones, they like to just go to their small forms. Hi, my name's Qa. People call me Kh. Hi, my name is Ka. People call me K.
So that's why the second K has an underline under it, because of the ka.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
So when we look over here, like this one reveals that pattern. Ga becomes K. Ka is still there, but then the irialis part jumps over it, so it becomes gua. So both the perfective and the irialis are interesting because they sit in a certain spot, but they will regularly jump over to the other side of things. Like yu plus cha is hua. And that's just how it works, right? And so here, ga, ka, cha gets you k'kwasha, right? So the G is becoming ga. The ka and the cha are combining to become ka, and then this jumps over them.
So
Okay. Okay.
what is the perfective form of kutz for the first person singular?
So that would be hua she kutz.
Okay. Hua she kutz.
So every time, if you go and you go break daylight, you could say that.
Because I associate that wa sound a lot with the perfective.
Yeah. And the irialis and the perfective sound very much alike.
Okay.
Right? And so you're also going to get this w in there.
But I see it's not in the other form, so that's a clue. Okay, goodness, geesh.
Ah,
I think I really need to have this stuff broken down and slowed down.
okay.
So-
Okay, here we go. Let's read them again. Kakashakoots. Gachtushakoots. Kakishakoots. Gachishakoots. Agushakoots. Hasagushakoots. Gachtushkoots. Kakoshkoo. Gachtushkoo. Kakishkoo. Gachyshkoo. Or gachyshkoo. Kakwashkoo. Haskakwashkoo. Gachtushkoo. If we only got one set left to practice, then you guys are going to have to become master predictors. So we're going through every classifier combination. But the key is this will be sha and this will be sh. We know that. We know it. This is ga, so it has to have k in front of it. This is 0, so there won't be anything in front of it. They both have objects, so you're going to get a right here. But because this one has a vowel, you have to go aguksha. This one doesn't, so you must go akquash. So you can't go akquasha, and you can't go aguksh. It's all about that vowel, okay? It's because the vowel adds one more thing to the prefix. Okay. Kekakwashakan. Kekachtushakan. Kekakishakan. Kegachishakan. Keagurshakan. Kesagurshakan. Kegachdushkan. Kukwashkuch. Gachtushkuch. Kakishkuch. Gachishkuch. Akquashkuch. Has akquashkuch. Gachdushkuch. Okay, here we go. Who would like to lead us through looking at the parts that we need to for this first verb, and then maybe predicting the first person? Usually we look at the object, the classifier.
It stay too, it stays low.
Well, they must always be long enough. They'll always be long enough. So we don't even have to worry about looking at the stem. It'll just be long and high, unless it's got that little X, then we know it doesn't change. Okay. So a bit of another walkthrough. So here's what I would be hoping to hear. There's an object, so we're gonna have right here. It's a 0 classifier, so the classifier is gonna be 0 all the way down. So therefore this should be aqwa. It's 0 conjugation, so we don't need K or Ye in front of it. That's everything. Now, how would I say I am going to hear it? But there's no S in the classifier.
Awa.
That's the perfective for third person.
That's the one I was guessing.
Okay. Okay. Heshwasa oti. So we should have kakwa. Kakwa. Yeah, awa. Okay, kakwa. That's what we should have. These ones will all be long and high. You are going to hear it. There's no vowel, so I would expect, there's no vowel in the classifier. So I would expect E in there somewhere. Yeah, away. Oh, I did the wrong one.
Oh, well,
That's what I heard him say too.
Ah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing here. Now I got the pattern. You all are going to hear it. So the second person plural is actually the one that I think changes the least, and maybe the first person. It's gachye every single time. Then you can add a classifier if you want to, but that gachye doesn't change. Gachye, 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 gachye. That being said,
Gachye.
they are going to, singular they, is going to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we expected to start with
Aguchta,
but it's gotta be,
not da though, huh?
there's no vowel. Kwa. Akwa. And once we get that, we should be able to just throw a hus on that. It will be heard. So here's the secret. Oh,
Would do a ach.
here's the
Would do a
secret.
ach.
The second
gach.
person is always going to be gachtu, but sometimes it'll be gachtu. So the only thing we have to worry about is whether it's tu or tu. But this one will always be gachtu. This one will always be gachtu. Always gachtu, gachtu, gachtu. And it won't go long. That being said, yeah, well. So now look at these. The only thing we're going to do now is change the root from ach to in. Everything else will be exactly the same. These ones should come much faster. Okay, so this is I will And this could be berries, but this one also works well for like picking seaweed, just gathering food into some sort of container, something you put into a container. Okay. I'm gonna pick berries into this container. Kaqa'in. We are going to.
Dusnéiyi.
Yeah, well. Y'all are gonna. Or you, single you are gonna. Is gonna. Good grief.
Check-in.
Yeah, well. You all are gonna.
Dusnéiyi.
Yeah, well. Singular.
Monet, can you say that second person singular?
Kaqi.
Kaqay. Kaqay.
Kaqi.
Kaqay.
Singular they is gonna pick berries into a container.
Aquain.
Yeah, well.
Aqwa'in.
They are gonna.
Has aqwa'in.
Yeah, well. Berries will be picked into a container. Okay, so see, and so there's a whole bunch of stuff, but it's kind of a matter of just there's all this stuff going on in here, but just remembering this. Kaqwa gahtu, kaqi gahye akwa has akwa gahtu. That's every zero classifier will have these prefixes. It's already set. It's already set. And so even though there's a whole bunch of complicated rules, once you get those patterns, then you're just changing the root. Kakwacha, I'm gonna eat. Gachtucha, we're gonna eat. Kakicha, right? Gachicha, akwacha, hasakwacha, gachtucha. There's a whole bunch of them. Whole bunch of them. As long as there's a subject and it's zero, it'll be like this.
Is it the one like where it says ach and then there's a number 1? Does that mean it's going high? Or is it the zero?
No, that number 1, all that means is there's another ach. The other ach is paddling. Or the other ach is, no, it's not paddling. It's
Ach.
something. I can't remember. But there's another een verb, another ach. There's another verb like that.
But the going high is,
That's just part of the future.
well, is it the mark, like to know, is it the mark that's right before it?
Nope.
This, like when I look at them.
Just determined by the mode. Every future verb is high. Every future verb is high. They're all long and high. All the negative futures are long and low. Every time. So that's why the future is also, it's easier to predict, even though it's long. Like that, you don't have to worry about this. Like, you know, when we did the perfective, we had to look at, okay, this conjugation type, and then this thing, you know, you had like zero and everything else. But for this one, it's just everything's high. Okay. Next one. But now what do we got to know?
Got the D.
Got the D. So these are all going to be duh, except for this one. Why is that one going to be different?
Has
It's the people, the duh. You cannot do da. You have to do, this will switch to gachtu. It'll just switch for both of them. Okay. So the rule with the fourth person is it'll make every zero classifier will be minus D. Every non-zero will be plus D. No matter what's going on with the classifier, that fourth person will just boss it around. Okay. What else do we need to know about this?
No object.
Yep, so there's no object here. Because there's da, we should expect guchta, has guchta. When we go over here, we're gonna get kach, a guchta, kach, has a guchta. So we should expect. One more thing.
Zero conjugation prefix.
Yep, so there's nothing before it, but before all of these, there must be what?
Yay.
Yay. Goodness, sheesh. Okay, so I'ma take a bath. Are you guys doing the IMA, IMMA? I just do that now. I have 2 English degrees. I think I can. Okay,
Is it Kukadashuch?
kakwada shooch. Okay, kakwada. There we go. We are gonna take a bath. Or we're gonna bathe like in the waters. This is also like, I have it for bathe and take a bath, but for some Tlingit, like this means going into the icy waters.
So, Hataya.
Ah,
So with the subject and the D, okie dokie. This is just like that one where I said jinak, I will let it go. I didn't know where to put the j. Just like on here, it says kakwa, and that's really hard for me to say kakwa.
kakwa,
And then the D, kakwa, and the D goes after that.
kakwada. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dasuch, and because the zero conjugation or class of the zero, is that conjugation or classifier?
Classifier.
The zero classifier makes you an A there, duh.
Well, the plus D version is duh, yes.
Okay.
And then,
And so the subject is kwa because
yes.
it's ka,
And if
which
you have,
changes.
so if you have any sort of thematic prefix, j, t, ya, it'll go right in front of this.
So the kach below it, that's a thematic prefix.
No, we don't have one on here.
On the second one though, kach.
No,
plus-
there's none on these ones. We're gonna get to those ones. But we would say kak kwada, jik kwada, kak kwada, tuk kwada. So it wouldn't affect this. It would just go right on the front of it.
Oh, okay.
So that's why you'd say jik kwanak.
Yeah. Jackwanak. Ikaw ako na chish. I'll let it gel.
Kwatan. Okay. 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 Heshwasa, Johan. Okay, we are gonna. Are we just avoiding taking a bath? I'm just kidding. We're gonna take a bath.
Gachta.
Gachtet de shooch. Yeah, well. You are going to take a bath.
Kigita shooch.
Higita shoot.
Gachtet de shooch. Yeah, well. Y'all are gonna take a bath. I would expect gachye every single time for them, for those second person plurals. Y'all just gachye all the time.
Dashooch.
Gachye de shooch. So there's no Aquaman in this one. But without the what should we get? There's a vowel there because
Shooch.
we should expect guch da shooch. And it must guchta, guchsa, Guchla, guchsha. Must. Absolutely must. Aquaman can't come. Not if there's a vowel in the classifier. He's got to stay underwater. Now we just put a hus in front of it.
Has guchtas shuch.
Yeah, away. And now this one must switch
I feel
back.
like,
Huh?
I feel like I'm the only one laughing on that last one.
Yeah, come on. I'm killing it here. Sorry.
Took the shoot.
This happens at home too. I just laugh at all my own jokes. But, it's quarantine. Gotta keep yourself entertained.
Gachtu shu.
Yeah, away. Gachtu shuch. Right? Gachtu. Yeah, away. So look at those. But this, I'll show you the first one because we have kach and ye. We have both those things in there, right? So when we have some business like kach, because you're going to put something on, so the kach part is just, that's the on part. So that's going to come before the ye. Okay? So there's kach ye ti. So here's the formula for this one. You'll add kach ye, then you're going to change shuch to ti, but everything else will be the same. So if we added kach, yi, gach, tu, da, ti. There it is. Kach, yi, gach, tu, da, ti. Right? So it's a magic formula. There's a lot of parts, but there's only so many things. So what about you are going to put it on?
Kach ye kagidati.
Yeah, away. Y'all are gonna put it on.
Oh,
Oops. Kach, ye, gach, ye, da, ti. I think I froze.
yeah, you were drinking your coffee for too long, it looked like.
It's time for a big gulp. This one will add kach, ye, and then we'll add because there's an object. But then we should expect guch, da, ti. Kach, ye, a guch, da, ti. Where would the hus go?
Has kach ye agochtati. Agochtati.
Is it kachye has?
In this case, I would just contract that. It's getting too long. But that's hus is totally fine. Kach. So the hus is on the outside of the verb, but it comes inside of the K and the ye.
When you see an S, usually like, is that kind of what it's meaning? Like,
You see it right, yeah, a lot of times,
has.
especially if it's on its own right before a verb. And you just got to learn how to catch it when you hear it as well. Okay. It will be put on.
Kach ye gachduti.
Yeah, away. Kach ye kach tu ti. Yeah, away. Yuck, Johan. Are you gonna know now? Okay. What do I need to know about these ones? Let's just look at both of the verb themes. Figure out what we need to just know about.
There's an object.
Yep. So we should expect
Object.
a guchsa, right? On both sides. A guchsa.
S classifier.
Sa, all the way down except for the fourth person, which will be s. There's only one more thing to look at.
Did you just say because there's an object, it's SA instead of SI?
No, because there's an object, we'll expect a for the third person. But also while looking at the third person, it's the classifier is going to be sa. So there it has a vowel. So that means agursa, hasagursa, agursa, hasagursa. But the fourth person will be gachdus. The last thing to look at, 0, nothing. Ga, K. K must come before this verb. Okay? I'm going to know it. Oh, you guys are going to predict it and you're going to know it. It's going to be great.
I feel like it's Ausiku, but it's not Ausiku.
They know it.
They know.
We got to get that kakwa in there.
Kakwasaku.
Kakwasaku. Yeah, away. We are gonna know it.
Gachtusaku.
Gachtusaku. There's a vowel, so this stays short. You're gonna know it. You're gonna know it. Oh, maybe I froze again.
Kakisaku or kakisaku.
Yeah, away. Kakisaku. Y'all are gonna know it. It's always gachye.
Gachsaku.
Gachyisaku.
Oh,
Singular they are gonna know it.
Aguksaku.
Yeah, away. They plural are gonna know it. Yeah, away. It will be known.
Gachtusaku.
But you can't go dusa.
Damn it.
Gotta push it plus D. Gachdusku. Right? It's okay. It's okay.
Where
So
does
now, oh, go ahead.
Kwasiku fit in there?
How does what?
Kwasiku.
That's the perfective. So kakwasaku, I'm gonna know it. Chwasaku, I know it.
Oh.
Right? So if we did the perfective, chwasaku, watusaku, yisaku, yisaku, ausaku, or amsaku, hasamsaku, hasausaku. Oh no, I froze. Wadudzaku. But if we go down here again, the only thing that'll change on this side is the root. And it's going to change, well, we'll have K in front of it. K, exact same prefix, nik. And this is to make somebody sick. It's a bad verb for the current pandemic, but I couldn't go find a new verb because of COVID. But now we can say the negative version. This is how you can say or I guess you'd say kekakosaniku. Kakasaku, you could say it that way.
Does it change from figurative to literal?
Uh,
Like when you say like you make me sick, you know, that's more figurative than
yeah,
or
like when you say that in English, you're saying like, I'm tired of you or something like that. You can say you make me sad. So you could just add achtuwu on there. Achtuwu yisin. But yeah, it's like the kind of like make me sick type of, it's a different, you probably have to say what that's literally saying.
okay.
Because yeah, you don't say, you're not telling someone you gave me a cold. Okay.
Ke kosanik.
Yeah, away. Kekkosanik. We're gonna get that person sick. Oh, this is the phrase for the governor of Texas. There we go.
Dasa grow the economy.
Played cartoon the Tawny.
Would that be the same as that gachtusa, but put the K in front?
Absolutely. So K in the front, change it to Neek, and then you've got it.
K gachtusa ni.
There it is. Kekatusanik. So like the pattern building, right? And so sometimes our minds are going to resist it a little bit, but it's like once we sort of figure out what that pattern is, then it's just a matter of like looking at that, say, okay, now I know how to do it, right? And that's what we're watching for. You're gonna get them sick.
So K kagisanik.
Kekakisanik.
That's a lot of
No mask on. Yeah, we get repeating consonants all the time. Y'all are gonna get them sick.
Kegahisanik.
They're gonna get them sick.
K aguchsanik.
Yeah, what? They now the plural, like they're plural gonna get them sick.
Ke has aguchsanik.
Yeah, what? Or case aguchsanik. People are gonna get that person sick.
Gachtusanik.
Gotta put the K in.
K.
Hey.
Kekachtusnik. Again, that classifier switch to just that single consonant. Because you can't dusa. Language.
That same thing on the Tlingit for the third person plural. The K, we knew that, but I still, I have dyslexia. I didn't know where to put the hus.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The hus come after the K and the yay. You're gonna K them husses, you're gonna yay them husses. Case, yays, K hus, yay hus. And it's tricky. Like even when I'm speaking Tlingit, I'll put the hus out. I do it all the time. Like don't worry about it. But what you do is you keep talking and don't stop yourself, but just and every now and then just maybe do a little self-correction. And it's totally fine. It's totally fine. And everybody who's learning Tlingit, this is just what they do. It's just the pattern. And then pretty soon you'll just smoosh it right in there where it needs to go. But look at these patterns, right? So this kakwasa, and then, but now we're going to take the vowel out of it. That's what we're going to do. Object, but with the plus D, akwas. Hus akwas. That's what we should expect for both of them. This one's going to have yay in front of it. That's everything we need to know. I'm going to cry for it.
Ye kakwasagach.
Yes, but no vowel. No vowel in the classifier. That's all we're
Okay.
gonna do is
Ye kakwaskach.
Yekakwaskach.
Gach. It's so true. You know.
Oh, the D went away.
Yeah, the D kicks the vowel right out of there. Once that D comes, it's like, get that vowel out of here. Arr. We're gonna cry for it.
Grandma, I'm ready to cook everything, but I'm worried that nobody's gonna eat.
What is it?
Liver and onion.
Oh,
Ye gachtuskach.
Yeah, what? Yekaktuskach. No vowel. 2 is long. No vowel. This one's long as well. You're gonna cry for it.
Ye kagisaga.
No vowel in the
Yeah, no,
classifier. No vowel.
sorry. Ye kagiskach.
Yekaktiskach. No vowel means that goes long.
Okay.
Goes from I to E.
Kagiskach.
Okay. Y'all are gonna cry for it. I feel like a bully. Y'all gonna cry for it.
I have a punk tonight.
We were just talking today about like using the Simpsons as a family tree example. So this would be, what's the bully? Nelson?
Ye gachiskach.
Yekaktiskach.
Yeah.
They are gonna cry for it. Singular they.
A aguchsagach.
No sa. No sa. So
Yeah,
you can't go duchsa. It's gotta go akwas. Ye akwas. Ye akwaskach. Now we gotta put a hus in there. Where them husses gonna go?
Yay, hus.
Or is it just a S?
It could be. It could go either way. It's not one. This isn't one that there's a requirement. If it's someone who speaks a lot of Tlingit, they'll probably just do it though. Yes akwaskach. People gonna cry for it.
Actually, I'm in the middle.
Yay. It's
It's
gonna look just like this, but it'll be dus.
Yekachtuskach.
Yeah, what? You cry for more grammar. Give us more grammar. Okay, now,
Just trying to use my notes for the S classifier
Okay.
To figure out what and then add yay. But that, and then but it gets more complicated than that, right? You can't just put the agusagach. You have
yes.
to have the y in there
Well,
for like the second person.
for the second person, it's all about whether there's a vowel. It's either going to be Issa or Ida, Issa,
Kagi.
Isha, Isha.
Okay.
It's going to go long for E, Is, Ish, Ish.
Yes. Oh wait. Okay. Okay. I think I got it in the wrong place. Sorry.
Short with vowel, long with no vowel. That goes for these two right here. Short with vowel, long with no vowel. This one, if there's a vowel, it'll go guchsa, guchla, or guchta, guchsa, guchla, guchsha. Otherwise, no vowel, then it must go kukwas, kukwash, kukwash. Okay, last one. The yay goes away because it's 0. Qach changes to neich. The rest stays exactly the same. I think this is more like to sniff for it, but I haven't figured that one out yet. So I'll just say, I'm gonna sniff for it.
Oh,
Kuchwasni.
Yeah, oh, jumped ahead. Kukwasneich. We're gonna sniff for it. Yeah, what? You're gonna sniff for it.
A sneak.
Yeah, I can sniff for it.
you sneak.
Yeah, what? Singular, they are gonna sniff for it. Yeah, what? They, plural, are gonna sniff for it.
Yes. Sneak.
No yay, though. No yay. Just hasquasneich. It will be sniffed for. I don't know. Whatever it is. People can go sniffing for it. Oh, it should look just like this one without the yay. Gach dus neich. Okay, so you got a week off. Well, we're gonna pick up here actually, so that we can sort of. So here's the goal. We'll move through these ones. Here's the L. So, but what you're gonna find, like if you just sort of look at this, what you will find, the only thing that changes in these is if we look at all of these. Sorry, I got to go back to these ones. If you just change all these S's to L's, you got it. Kakosha, gachtusha, kakisha, gachyisha, aguchla, hasaguchla, gachdush. Same with right down there. What we learn how to build these patterns, which are long, but then we see when the classifier changes, all that changes there is a single consonant, the single sound of the classifier, from S to L to SH. And then,
Sorry.
and then we'll put thematic prefixes on there. And those will change a little bit, but I'll show you, there's not a lot that changes.
Are these cards going to be available, or can you do it up to where we went? Because I want to write on them and again break them down.
Sure. Well, these are all in. What I'll do is I'll put the chapter up that goes over the future, and it sort of explains all this stuff if you want to read it again and sort of look at it. And it has all these examples, including fill in the blanks.
Oh, okay.
But I'll put that. I've put it up before, but I'll put it up under our class for tonight as well. And Shanaqi, to answer your question, going back, I haven't quite confirmed this, but there is a plus D and just a regular S. So you can say kakwasanich. I think the difference is I'm gonna smell it, as in like the odor is going to come my way and I'm going to sniff for it. Like let me sniff out where this funky smell is, right? There's something I ate and I didn't throw it away. It's just been sitting under my desk for 3 months. So I gotta sniff around and find it. Or you get in your boat after it sits all winter and you're like, uh-oh, I gotta go find that thing. And so you gotta sniff around for it. Or the dog is gonna go, or you're walking around. One time we were walking around and like it was summertime and people took they had some outdoor place where they cook their food at a restaurant, and they just build a fire and chop up a whole bunch of onions and bell peppers and just throw them right on the fire. And I was like, I gotta find that. Whatever it is, I gotta find it. And so, kakwasanik, I'm gonna sniff it out. That's my theory, anyways. So, kakwasnik would be I'm gonna go sniff around for it and sniff it out. And kakwasanik is I'm going to smell it. Oh, the verb dictionary has a doodah. Uh-oh.
It might just be spelled wrong or spelled different now, or I don't know, but I always like randomly flip through the dictionary because it's just cool. And then I saw doodah and I just felt like my whole life was a lie.
That's it. I'm going to live in the woods.
That's it. That's my path.
Hey, where is it?
It's up at the very, very top. Press scroll. See that?
Oh, hastu
Yeah.
datu. So that this is a hastu. There, datu, and that's a noun. So.
There's still a doodah.
That counts. Different words.
Whoa. Too much. Too much.
Good job. Good job. Really like looking for that doodah. Asaku Johan wukecha kanchish. Ye wushkach tustin. Kijk Sunday kanach. Ka wushkanach kach tu daat. Kanchish. See you folks in a week. You're always fun. Make my day.
Pinachis.
Ana.
Okay.
Cheese.
Ah.
Cheese.
Wukecha.